Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Tradiest Trades here with another red pill for you, another setup market using the commitment of traders strategy. And I just want to throw a little disclaimer in here before we start. None of this is to be construed as investment advice. This is just informational and educational only. There's real risk involved in trading these markets. You can lose some, all, or even more than all of your money. And any risks that you take need to be well researched by yourself, and it's your own risk, not mine. And I assume no liability for any risk or damages that you take based on anything you learn here. And also, I'd like to acknowledge none other than the legend Larry Williams. Larry Williams has authored the concepts which I base my trading on. How I successfully speculate in these markets is largely based on Larry Williams' concepts. So I'd like to give credit where credit is due. So without any further ado, let's dive into this week's setup market, which is coffee. So coffee is actually set up for shorts. You may be looking at this chart and say, who in their right mind would be trying to short this market? And the answer is that the smartest people in the business are actually heavily selling this market. And we're going to look into why this market, not necessarily right now, is going to go short, but it's a nicely set up market for a short once we do get a confirmed trend change on the daily. So that's the thing you need to be clear on. I'm not suggesting we just go short coffee at the open. What this means is that if we get a confirmed trend change on the daily, there's a lot of things pointing towards this being a very nice short trade. So starting with what we always start with, the one indicator to rule them all, the one that has to be there in order for me to keep looking at a market, is the commitment of traders commercial index. And we see here, based on a 26-week look back, the commercials are maxed out in their short positioning. We have this red line here in the sell zone. So that is our code number one. Now, this is a really nice thing we're seeing here. The green line is investment advisor sentiment. So when we see the commercials heavily selling while the investment advisors telling all of their clients to buy, and they get into this exuberant zone, that's a nice juxtaposition. So we have two codes here in this one indicator showing us that this market is potentially set up for a short, but we need more than just two codes. We need at least three. So heading over here to net open interest, the red line is the net open interest of the commercials. And what we see here is that they're basically they're the max short they've been in the last 3 years. And actually, I'll show you another chart in a minute. The large speculators, which is the blue line, they're the max long they've been coffee ever. So basically, when these guys get to extremes in their positioning, we're going to be close to a significant market turning point. So we have that going for us. So we have, what did we just do? The commercial index. We have advisors sentiment. We have net position extremes. The commercials are max the last 3 years, and the large specs are actually max long of all time. So that right there is enough to consider this market set up. But let's keep looking, because we also have to take a look at how is this market from a valuation standpoint. So we see here, these two indicators right here are comparing the price of coffee to benchmarks of gold, treasuries, and the US dollar. And we see versus all of the three benchmarks, the coffee market is overvalued. So that is another code. So taking a look also at the ADX, what we see here, the ADX is an end of trend indicator. So we see anytime the ADX gets over 60, we're close to a very significant end in trend. Look at the last time we got over 60, that ended this big bull up move and started this pullback. We did have a rollover of the ADX over 60 back here, but it just got quickly reversed. So what I want to see is does the ADX roll over? So that would be one confirmation that the trend has changed and we're going to start going down, is if the ADX rolls over. But a better, or not necessarily better, but a way I like more is to take a look at the large speculators, because they can give us good clues. So remember, the large speculators are going to give the market the momentum to move in the direction which we're anticipating. So the commercials are going to set the trend, and then the large speculators are going to take us there by their trend following nature in the market. They will continue to short as the market goes down. So what I'll want to see, this blue line is the large speculators net positioning. What I'll want to see is I'll want to see that start to turn down, and ideally see it go below this 13-period moving average, and that would give me good confidence that this move has indeed changed. And we see we're really nowhere close to a trend change yet. The 12 Donchian is trailing right here. We're nowhere near that. That's the weekly 12 Donchian. Sorry, here's the daily, because we enter based on the daily. So we're still far away from the daily 12 Donchian. The 18-period moving average entry likely won't happen for a while yet. So I don't anticipate this trade to actually trigger for a while, but this is what I'm watching. I want to see these large specs start to work into the sell side of the market, which would confirm that the trend is in fact going to start going down. So we have that's another thing that is in support of this market going down eventually. Now we also have some confirmation of some distribution going on here on the ProGo, which is this indicator at the top. So we see the ProGo is diverging from price. So what I mean is price is making higher highs while the ProGo is making lower highs. So that implies that this move up is being heavily distributed. And what that means is it's being distributed by the commercials. They're heavily selling this move, which we already know based on the commitment of traders data. But still, now let's take a look, go back over here and let's take a look at seasonality. So the true seasonal, so we see the true seasonal is for coffee to go up until February 14th and then have a pretty significant down move into mid-March, mid to end of March. So we have seasonals on our side that coming up here, they're supposed to be a seasonal high. And we also see the market is in sync with the seasonal. So we see typically the seasonality is for coffee to make a higher high in February than it did in December. And we see that's what's happened here. So price making higher high. So it's in sync with its seasonality. We have this extreme in positioning and all these other codes pointing towards a bearish trade coming up on coffee, which is nicely in alignment with seasonal. So we also have the seasonal in alignment. We also have some cycles which are in alignment here. So let's take a look at the cycles and just take a minute to open them up. So starting here, the first cycle I have to show you is the 5.4-year cycle based on weekly data. And what we see here is that cycle tops right around February 14th and actually goes down all the way to March 2026. So we have a major cyclical headwind from this cycle. And there's a few more. There's actually quite a few that line up here right around this time. You can see it's been done a pretty good job of calling major tops and bottoms in the coffee market. So we see March 3rd, 2025. Now this can translate to the left if it's really bearish or to the right if the market is bullish. But sometime around March is early March is a cyclical top down into May 2026, 42.6 month cycle. We got a 235-day cycle. So what we see here is we may have a cycle inversion. So price has been going up while the cycle is suggesting the market should have gone down. So we can view this as a turning point, not necessarily a low, but February 1st could be a time for basically right now for coffee to have a sell-off into March 28th. Okay, and then heading over, we got the 970-day cycle, which topped around October. So this is translating to the right. It is the market is extremely bullish, so we can see right translation if the market is really bullish. But we do basically generally see a cyclical high somewhere around here, taking us down into February 2026. And then here's my composite based on the weekly data. We see that there's a cyclical high right around mid-January, right around now, down to March of 2026. So this is a unique cyclical analysis in that there's so many dominant cycles are all pointing towards a major cyclical high in coffee right now, which is very interesting considering the extreme in the positioning and all these other things that we're looking at here. So then we do also have a few other indications of distribution going on. We'll head over here. We don't have distribution indicated based on the POIV, but we do have it based on the insider accumulation index. So we see price is making higher highs while the insider accumulation index is making lower highs. What would confirm this is if we get a nice trend change on this, break of this trend line. So if this trend line closed down on the insider accumulation index, that would confirm that this distribution is kind of actually got some steam behind it. So what else do we got? I think we also have percent R, which is not surprising that it's in a sell zone. So we have percent R. We also have ultimate oscillator divergence here. What would confirm that is if we get a trend change, a channel line, a trend line break on this. So if we actually broke below that, that would confirm this is an actual sell signal for me. And then we also have divergence based on the 28 period momentum. So we have momentum divergence here. I'm just going to move this down. So we see price making the oscillator making a lower high while price making a higher high. So what would confirm this divergence is if we had a close below this low. on the oscillator. So those are things that I'm watching. There's a whole lot of things pointing towards coffee being a very good short at some point in time. Right now, the momentum is drawn to the upside, so we do need to wait for a daily trigger to give us basically the confirmation that the trend has changed on the daily time frame. Until then, we basically wait. So hope you found this information useful. If you want to learn more about trading with the Commitment of Traders data, you can shoot me an email at tradiustrades@gmail.com. I can send you a link to my private Discord, which is completely free. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks.